That was a
Okay.
good volleyball chat. Good wholesome volleyball chat.
Welcome to Court Captain's Volleyball Podcast.
Where we talk all things Pro Volleyball Federation.
I'm Kelly.
I'm Nikki,
I'm Ian.
and today we're talking PVF Week 5 and the All-Stars of the first 25% of the season.
Quarter.
Thanks for being here this week. Well, we've got news at the top. All-Star roster
Boop, boop, boop,
reactions
boop, 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 boop.
is one of those elements of news.
Mm-hmm.
We're also going to talk about some transactions page drama that occurred this week.
Oh boy.
And then it'll be time for the usually scheduled programming, including Ian's Corner and our match reviews. So here's what I would like to mention about the transactions page this week. So are you familiar with the Kendra Waite dramas that
Nope.
occurred? Okay, great. So a few things that occurred on February 4th. In pretty quick succession, we had a lot of updates. We had Hannah Pukis of the Orlando Valkyries move to short-term IR. So that's Orlando's right now backup setter. So Orlando did do that. They also must have, when they went in there and did that, seen that Omaha Supernovas put Kendra Waite, setter, rookie, out of Creighton, onto the practice squad and moved Mac Pedraza, their other setter, up to active roster. What I imagine happened then, although the page doesn't tell this in a succinct story, we have to, put the clues together, is that Amy Pauley went in there and she said, wait, Kendra Wade is on the practice squad? I'm a claimer. And so she took her. So it says, claimed from Omaha PS, practice squad.
So she was on Omaha's practice squad,
Long time ago, I believe. But
and
she had been on active for a while.
but that's how Orlando claimed her and put her on their practice squad. But then
Yeah, it would have to be.
yeah. So then that's how Omaha was like, no, wait, we want her back and put her on active roster. So now it's like, she's secure. You can't take her.
So here is the official word for the February 4 or 5 transaction you mentioned. Waite was initially claimed off Omaha's practice roster, which is permissible by league rules. However, a team may retain that claimed player by putting them on the active roster, which is what Omaha did. So my
Oh.
understanding is that when a player gets moved to practice squad, they have 24 hours where they can be claimed by another team. The team that is having their player taken needs to respond by putting them back on active within those 24 hours.
Okay.
So the 24-hour piece is something that I thought was gone from last
Well, it's
year.
just like a slightly more complicated version of waivers.
Exactly.
And we still
Yep.
don't like fully understand what practice squad means or how many places they have on the practice squad.
I think it's 3, but I'm not positive. I don't feel like they've said that very
Okay. 'Cause
clearly,
wasn't
but
it
I've
two
heard that
last
out.
year?
It was 2 last year.
Okay.
And so on February 5th, then Omaha put Kendra back on active and they moved Lindsay Krause to practice, which like then someone could just grab her. Like
Yeah.
it could
And then you
it
would have
could
to do that
happen
again.
forever.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a maximum. I guess it couldn't happen forever if there's a maximum.
But then February 7th,
Hmm.
Kendra got moved back to practice squad
That's right.
and
And Lindsay
Lindsay
Krause back to
Krause
active.
back to active.
Yep. And then nothing on the 8th. So it was just a funny little
So
blip.
poor Omaha is like, we just needed a setter because one of ours is injured.
Yeah.
No, not even.
Oh,
They've
They're
got
just-
3. They've got
they're
too
just
many.
messing.
Oh, okay.
And here is why I'm like kind of okay with this in the end. If you've got a great player on your practice squad and they could be of use on another team and there is an active roster spot for them on another team, like to your point, Kelly, we don't know for sure. All that the transaction page says is that Orlando claimed her. It would be kind of fucked up if you could claim from one practice squad and put her on the other. But I think in theory, and I don't know if that's the rule, but in theory, what this does is make it so that very good players don't get stuck on the practice squad somewhere if they can be on active and playing a role on another team.
Yeah.
But
But
in this
also, like,
league-
that's a kind of a badass move by Amy Pauley to be like, to one, if you want the player, good, claim the player, but also just to fuck them over. you know?
Yeah.
Also,
Well, and ultimately, Amy did end up signing a different setter
So she wanted somebody, but
on the 5th. Aaron Olson, a rookie out of Central Florida, probably was down the road, you know.
yeah.
yeah. At the end of the day, though, I kind of feel bad for Kendra.
Yeah.
Well, so
She's like, so am I moving to Orlando or not? It's the dead of
Yeah.
winter. I'm in Omaha.
that could be fun.
I'm a big
The
Disney fan. She
This
was
leads a
like,
little bit to like something that I think is an unfortunate reality in sports, which is that like you're treating players like pawns when they have
yeah.
lives. And your question about like what is the practice squad actually then? I think it's just like extra roster space
Yeah, backup team.
that gets paid a little bit less. And for that first 24 hours is able to be picked by a different team. Now, the question is, who should Columbus go snatch? I mean, this is a little convoluted, but I kind of like the spirit of it. I'm sure it will change next year. I do want to mention, though, unrelated to this specific practice squad and claiming and waiving and those elements, I was just thinking about how when did that big trade last year happen between Columbus and Atlanta? And if this league wants to be successful, I think there should be another big trade like now
What? Because for the drama or what?
because it's
The
their
dramatics.
differentiator between League One.
Like, what is the value of trading one of your players if they're on a 1 year contract?
No, I know there's no value, but that's why I'm saying I'm asking the
Yeah.
teams to do a fun little trade. And
I mean, I guess the draft picks, right? Like,
Just,
yes,
yeah.
I don't care. Do it
yeah.
because this is what's going to make the PVF successful long term. Is if you get to say our individual teams are owned and operated and chosen, and they get to choose their own players.
And they're actually like competing with each other as organizations.
Exactly. Those individual organizations have their own goals and their own plans. I'm not saying that anyone needs it, really, except I did just say Columbus should go do some fun things, just
Yeah,
see
why
what
not?
happens.
They
Yeah.
need something.
They
Although
need
no.
trade for some middle. Go get some Omaha middle who like isn't really interested in all of the drama that's going on. Oh, Omaha would never do it because they don't want future draft picks. Okay, scratch that
Yeah.
idea. The point is, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter because it doesn't matter. This league should run some secret. We won't tell anybody.
Ooh, like
Do
Patrick
some
Ewing
secret.
conspiracies in the back rooms.
Do a secret little
Hmm.
backroom orchestration of a trade. Play it up like crazy. It's how this league is going to be successful is if people believe there's individual owners, and I mean, they should believe it, but know about how there's plans.
Well, and Columbus can go to any player and be like, after the first 7 games of this year, we're undefeated. 1-0.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
What
know,
a
Come
we're
help
on
us
an
be a
upward
part of.
trajectory.
what a draw. The thing is, I don't want Columbus to trade any more draft picks because that's how they got into this situation.
No, no more, no more draft picks. Okay,
That's the problem, right? Like at
ask,
some point they might have to feel like, well, we just gotta be planning. We gotta be planning ahead. Be laying some foundations for future teams this year.
trade Megan Lush for first round picks in the future. 3 of them.
Hmm.
Sorry,
Could you get
guys,
a
we're gonna
could
have
you
to
get a
rebuild.
That's
No,
a,
I'm kidding.
could you
I,
get multiple first round picks for Megan Courtney Lush at this point? Boom! That's hot stove talk right
I
there.
mean, she's an all-star.
Right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. That poor
We'll talk
woman
about
lives
that.
there. I don't want her to be
To
uprooted
have to
from her
commute.
baby.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
It's a
there's
long
no
commute.
way.
No, no, no. I mean,
But you get what I'm
yeah.
saying.
Well,
To
some
answer your
intrigue.
earlier question, Tori Stringer was traded to the Columbus Fury on March 13th.
Okay, so they've got a month to plan.
Yeah, because
Let's
right
get
now
these
with the all-star
negotiations
teams,
started.
it feels much later than it is.
Of course. Right.
It's not middle of the season. So yeah, like maybe you don't want to be too rash
No, you don't.
in mortgaging your future for your present or
I
the other
agree,
way
though.
around.
I do want some more trades. That's fun.
That's what I'm saying. And
What?
yeah, it's not really fair to uproot someone's life, but
Yeah, no, you're
do
right.
it for the future of the
If we're
league.
talking about like players first, guys, okay?
Create an open active roster spot. Get one of the overseas players to come over in that spot and then tell not yet, not move, right? Just like be like, here, she's in that spot. And then say to another team, we'll give you the rights to her next year if we can get someone now, right? It's like making space on your roster.
Let's see.
I don't know
At
that
least
what I'm
in a
saying makes
trade,
any sense.
at least in a trade, they're both keeping their jobs.
Yeah.
Nikki's like, don't move them everywhere. Just fire one person and bring in a skilled immigrant to take their job.
Listen.
Holy shit, Nikki.
Listen.
Wow.
Listen.
Wow.
How about this?
Anyway,
Let's take a different tack though on this.
Okay. All right.
Players.
Our third option. Go ahead.
Players, start thinking about where you want to play and initiate it yourself.
Yeah.
Call your friends, get some people on the phone,
Have some
initiate your
agency.
own thing. But then
That
just
doesn't
say,
seem like it would help Columbus, though, right? Like, nobody's like, hey, you know where I really want to go? Is I want to live in Ohio on the worst team in the
I'm
league.
sure there's a players that want to leave Columbus.
Yeah, like,
so call them
you
up.
want to
But
go to
then that's what I'm
Vegas.
saying. It's like you could organize something that's interesting to someone.
True. It does seem like at this point, the coaches are pretty focused on, or some of them are pretty focused on, like, making sure that their players like them and have good relationships with them so you can convince players in the future to come there. And I just don't know, like, how much this early on, how many of them are willing to be cutthroat like that. Is Vegas willing to be like someone that's on their roster right now? They're playing well. Are they willing to cut them or trade them away for an upgrade at that position, even though they're doing well right now? And how does that
No,
play
you're
in the
right.
locker room?
You're
Which,
right.
you know, I'm sure there's someone that would do that, but there's always, you know, how does that play with the players that are left in the locker room that might like them or, you know, have good relationships with them?
All of that makes sense. And so that's why I'm asking the players to do it for each other and for the league. Because this has to happen this year. We won't be successful if not.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Bold if true.
I agree that it's nuts. I'm saying I don't care.
I'm into it.
To
That we can
drum up-
wildly speculate on.
And
Yeah.
we can wildly speculate, and then we can get everybody talking about how the PVF is the only league for us because it does fiscally irresponsible things.
If we're being irresponsible, who do you see get it? Because it's Atlanta was the best team when they traded Torrey Stringer. That's why it was doubly crazy.
Yeah.
It's Vegas then. Who's Vegas trading?
I think that Vegas is trading. I think Vegas.
Right?
I'm
It's
sorry.
hard.
I was just going to think about another thing, which is that like Columbus trading one of their setters. So I'm thinking about the thing that makes the least sense in this league is how many teams have two very good setters. Get Marley back over.
Oh,
Marley's not playing for some inexplicable reason. Here, I love Mia, but maybe Marley wants a trade.
Marley's got to be injured, right?
I don't know.
But they don't
Marley
wanna put her on the
follows Tori Stringer.
IR.
She's Tori Stringer's worst nightmare.
Takes Torrey's job again.
Tori's like,
What the
What
fuck?
the hell? But actually, I think that Tori and Marley are very good friends. But I'm again speculating over nothing. Marley comes over. Wilma is like, I want to go hang out with my friends in Orlando again. She goes over there.
So it's just like a setter carousel throughout
Setter
the league.
shakeup.
Everybody trades setters and sees how it goes.
Or I think it would be interesting if Marley went over to Vegas because there would be a promise that she would play next year after AGC retired.
oh, you think she's for sure retiring this year?
Oh, I would never say for sure about a single thing, but I have been speculating that Alicia is going to coach Vegas next year or
Ooh.
whenever she's done.
Could we have a player coach situation?
I mean, I'm sure it's already happening. How
That's
you don't
what should
get most
happen,
what
is,
was
like,
most
just announcers the
inspirational
coach.
player for not coaching half the team?
So I'm saying it like Vegas next year is coached by Alicia Glass, Childress, and Kendall White.
Sure.
And then they're like, Marley, you can come over here, train with us. We're going to be your new coaches next year. You'll get the starting spot next year. And I don't know what they give Atlanta, draft picks, whatever.
It's bold.
Sure.
The people who are the most upset are the setters who are very good riding the bench in a 5-1 world. Okay, I think that it's time for All-Star.
Let's talk about All-Star.
Indeed.
The most confusing publicity stunt that has ever reached my eyes and ears. First off, why? Second,
Publicity.
3,
Publicity.
who?
Well,
4,
so can
how?
and 5, like, have they announced Was it just fan voting?
No,
Yeah.
they have not. I don't think it
There's
is.
like 50%
No.
fan voting,
I think that was
50%
like a
coaches.
I think that was like just like a fun like pretend to be involved,
Who would
but we're
your
not
vote
actually
be?
involving you.
Mm.
No, I think that was to get people's contact information. Okay, so I need you to know that on the All-Star webpage that has its own call out in the hamburger. So if you scroll down, I need you to know that there is a countdown. 10 days, 16 hours, 14 minutes, 1 second. I don't know why we need that. And then they've got the teams, and then it's in Indy. The thing is, this was definitely like a show off the new Fisher's Event Center,
Which great.
pack that gym. And
Well,
yeah,
could
we've got
you
24
explain to me
players.
first? They announced like the guest coaches, and I was like the person in the background, like politely clapping, like, yeah, yes, I know those people. So who are they? Who's coaching these teams?
Yeah, so
Oh.
we've got Dave Shondell. Dave Shondell has been coaching Purdue volleyball since I was playing.
So Purdue,
Uh,
Midwest King.
Yeah. It's
Midwest
just a short
King.
hour drive north of Fishers.
Yeah,
Less
oh my
than.
gosh. He started coaching
Perfect.
at Purdue in 2003. And, I'll tell you, that's even before I started playing.
Yeah,
So he's an Indiana volleyball legend. Then
it's
we've
crazy.
got, I believe it's Michelle Collier, head volleyball coach at Georgia Tech.
Longer drive.
She's been the Georgia Tech
It's a
head
really
coach
long
since
drive.
2014 and the Vibe practice at Georgia Tech sometimes.
Makes
Uh,
sense.
So that is where we're
So we've got
connecting
like
there.
two college titans
Hmm.
coaching our all-star team. Sweet. Did they draft their teams?
I'm curious about that. I don't think so.
Like who? This is another thing I'm interested in then. Who decided who's on which team?
It's
Is
probably
it
the same people who decide who gets player of the week. It's
this
just like a few
mysterious Illuminati?
puppeteers,
Yeah.
puppeteers at the top figuring
Mm,
all of this out. And
they have all the data.
yeah. And what we ended up with in terms of team breakdown was that the Columbus Fury had one, San Diego Mojo have two players, Grand Rapids and Omaha and Indy have three each, Vegas, Orlando, and Atlanta have four each.
Wow. What would be the volleyball equivalent of a home run derby?
Just like we could have like a skills comp, right? Like a NHL has a skills competition and an all-star game. So you get a
Mhm.
nice like, hey, who has the fastest serve? We're clocking
Oh,
that.
that could be fun.
Like, hey, let's put a volleyball basket, serve it into that,
Sure.
you know?
Those exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I think for setting, probably it would be like how many times you can
Yeah.
place that
Yeah,
little net.
when they do the basketball three
Hmm.
point
hmm
whatever.
Or the football
I would
throwing.
watch that.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I
We should
think
do
I
that.
think skills competition should have been important here.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it will be, but
No, but maybe next year.
Yeah, this is a good idea. And honestly, PVF, you can have it for free.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna charge
Just
you.
give us, actually, you know what? Not for free. Just give us tickets to the
Yeah.
championship.
Well, speaking of people like hoarding data, we
Yeah.
had our own votes for All Star. Nikki has hid them away. No one's seen them. I don't
Well,
remember who I
and you know
voted
what,
for.
Ian? We never will.
Yeah, I don't remember at all. So in my mind, I picked all of these people to
Yeah.
be
and
on the All Star
I can't believe
teams.
how good we are at this.
Yeah.
because we voted after 2 weeks of volleyball play.
So I'm rereading the press release for the fan voting,
Hmm.
and it says fan voting will take place over the next 2 weeks and will be open for all fans and followers of the PVF. Every player on every team's roster is eligible, and the top voters, that seems incorrect. The top
Who
voters
cares?
will earn automatic inclusion on the 2025 PVF All-Stars roster.
Yeah.
Additional players will be selected by the coaches in the league office.
Okay.
So I'm
So
sure they
like,
reserve the right for that to be 2 or
yeah.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I do want to hear reactions.
Yeah.
Is there anybody that you were very, very happy to see on there? Is there anybody who you were surprised to see on there? No shade, just a little surprise. I was very happy to see Adora Anai.
Yes.
Yes.
Obviously, I think her
Deserves it.
stats speak for herself, but I
Yeah.
really feel like she is not always thought of as the go-to, but she is. She's incredible. Really happy about that
She's
one.
been really
I,
good this year,
I think,
especially. So
yeah, I think Merritt Beeson was kind of a shock,
Mm-hmm.
but then we think about, oh, number one draft pick. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think that kind of
That's why that was.
why that was.
Moving right along, I'm so excited to see Ajani Taylor on this
yeah,
team.
that's what I was gonna
Yes.
say, especially after
Yeah.
like this again, like voted early, but like especially after this week, she was crazy this week, even though they're like slipping a little bit. She's been great though. The whole time, obviously, Lekator is gonna get in because
Yeah.
she had a crazy beginning of the year and is still playing incredibly well. But yeah, I
Yep,
thought it was cool for Taylor to get in there.
absolutely. Friends of the pod, August
Hmm.
Rasky, who, I love to call Rascal because they misspelled her name on the voting. People still found her, voted for her.
August Rascal.
And Hannah Maddox, our
Yeah.
pals.
Love to
Really
see
excited for
them.
them.
Yes.
I think that probably like who is most impressive to me is Corey Lewis,
Yeah.
who as a rookie had to go into that position on her team after Shelley Fanning got
Yep.
injured and has
Hmm.
just really performed. So I'm so happy for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Erica Pritchard not being on there is tough.
Hmm.
She's been really good. Carly Snyder is on there for them, and Carly Snyder's been really good this year too. So
Yeah, I think there were 7 outsides,
So many.
which is a whole lot for 2 teams. Beyond that, I think it was 4 setters, so 2 per team. And then it was 4 opposites, 2 per team, 4 liberos, 2 per team. So I guess that's perhaps how the math works. What about middles? Were we a little off there? 3 middles on one team,
Johnny is
3
like
on the
a
other. Middle slash
opposite.
op.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone else you felt like got the shaft?
well, I said Pritchard for sure, just because like I don't know if again it's tough because it's such a small sample size this year, so there's just no way that people aren't considering
It is.
last year's
Yeah.
stuff.
I don't know. I feel like actually all of these choices are pretty
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah.
yeah. Like I want Megan Courtney Lush is the one that kind of stood out because of this year's numbers, but if you were just looking at the PVF's league roster, and we're picking the best players before the season, you would pick her,
Mm-hmm. We
Yeah.
would.
and she would be
Yeah.
in the All-Star game. And
Yeah.
so, like, that's where part of that is, maybe just based on raw numbers. That's not the case this year, but she's like one of the premier names in the league, and I think that especially given that it's such a small sample size this year, is somewhat excusable that you would put her on the team anyways, and just assume that it's turning around.
I think if this vote was done 3 weeks later, we would have seen Nia Shimei for sure on the right side and probably Morgan Stout as a middle.
Hmm.
But I think they were on the come up just a little too late. Also, Shimei might be injured right now. So I kind of understand some of that, but I think they were just on the come up a little too late. But if we did this a little bit later, I think they'd be there.
Yeah.
Cool, great.
Great.
Those are our thoughts about All-Star reactions.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Ian Scorner?
Scorner?
Let's get to the scorner.
This week I wrote a sentence for the league. The only problem with this type of league sentence is that because of the mascots in the league, really every sentence comes out sounding like it's about the Valkyries. But this week it fits because the Valkyries had a good week. So the sentence is ignite the supernova of thrilling vibes as Valkyries rise with a furious mojo.
Did AI do
But
that for you?
no,
Of course
that's
not. What do you think
I
of
only had to
him?
pay I only had to pay like a couple $100,000 for a postgraduate degree in order to get such
Wow.
craftsmanship in my sentence. Some might even call it nasty.
And you know what? Listeners, you can do that too.
Mm. This began on
Gorgeous.
Thursday, February 6th. Omaha at Indy on YouTube. Omaha pretty much in full swing now. They figured it out, but it was about as close as a sweep could get. Omaha took it in three in Indiana, as I said. The first set 25-23, the second set 25-23, the third set 25-22 this time. Omaha won all of them. Hot hitting night from both sides, but Omaha finished at 309, Indy 242. Block also working for Omaha. They finished with 11 to Indy's 5. Brooke led the way as usual, 14 kills, hitting 387. Reagan Cooper also in the 300s, 345 with 12 kills. On the losing side, start of a big week for Azani Teeler, 14 kills on 19 swings, hit 632. Not many times it starts with a 6. Meanwhile, Lekator also over 300 at 310 with 19 kills. But Indy just couldn't find a way at the end of those sets to take one. Also, Thursday, February 6th, also on YouTube, it was Orlando at Atlanta. Feels like kind of a classic matchup, a throwback to year one of the PVF. Orlando continued the good form. They came off a sweep of Omaha to now sweep Atlanta. Two big sweeps in a row. They won 24-14, 25-18, 25-23. Orlando dominated on the night. They hit 340 to Atlanta's 116. Led on the night by Brittany Abercrombie, 289 with 15 kills. And of course, All-Star Adora, 393 with 13 kills. Actually, both of them All-Stars, so I don't know why it said it that way, but you get it. Really hit well down the roster as well. Courtney Schwann and Kaz Brown both hit over 300. They both had multiple blocks. Natalie Foster hit 556 with 5 kills on the night. Leah Edmond, also a good day, 10 kills at 250. They couldn't really get anything going early, and by the time they were getting into gear, the match was over. So we move on to Friday, February 7th. Grand Rapids Rise at Columbus Fury on YouTube. And it's finally happened. Columbus pulled it out in 5 sets. Their first win of the year, and they had to work for it. They lost the first set 21-25. Then they won the second 25-21. The third was a long one. They won 26-24. Lost the fourth 22-25. You could feel it slipping away. Oh no. They came out in the fifth and they did the job. 15-8. Really awesome. Some extra points in there. They were led on the night by an Isabella Rapach game. Absolutely huge. 23 kills at 364. Raina Terra had a decent game with 14 kills, but at 186. Megan Courtney Lush struggled on the night, hit 74, but honestly, it was impressive how the Fury handled the Rise block. Over 5 sets, they only got blocked 5 times. And the Fury are really pretty good at that, so nice. The teams finished with a combined 36 service errors, which seems not great. But on the losing side, Carly Snyder finished at 383 and Erica Pritchard had a tough night, but still had 10 kills. Hit 0, finished with the 10 kills. Tough night for the Rise. But Columbus finally got their win. Same night on VBTV, Vegas Thrill at the San Diego Mojo. Vegas continued their form at the top of the table. Sweep of San Diego. They won 25-22, 25-19, 25-20. And yeah, they looked really great. The team finished at 318. Hannah Maddox finished at 371 with 16 kills. Cameron Hanna also had 11 kills at 417. And Charity Looper hit 345, 12 kills. Also, shouts out to Alicia. 34 assists, 17 digs, a block, 2 for 2 on kills on the night. So, nice. San Diego lost in the sweep, but a decent game from Elise McGee as well. She hit over 300, and Kendra Dalkey again hit 364. I feel like Kendra Dalkey, really good year so far. All right, we move on to the weekend. Saturday, February 8th, Omaha at Atlanta on YouTube again. Omaha continues the hot week. They win in 4, including a pretty large blowout set. The first set they won 25-23, the second 25-10. And then they lost the third 19-25 before finishing 25-22 in the fourth set. The Brooke Reagan combo, it's in full gear now. Reagan, 18 kills, 357, and Brooke finished with 13 kills at 333. Atlanta, a little bit of a slide this week. 16 hitting errors to Omaha's 7. Leah Edmond still hitting pretty well, 18 kills, hitting 261. Taylor Head had 10 kills at 273, but the team finished 163 and really just got run out of the gym in that second set where they scored 10. But props to them for coming out after that set and winning the third. Couldn't get it done on the night, but we'll see how that goes. Then the week ended on FS2. Indy Ignite on the road at the Orlando Valkyries. Clash of two teams headed in different directions in the standings, if you will. Orlando on a good run, Indy on the opposite, and Orlando lost the close first set and then won three in a row. They lost the first 26-28, and then they won 25-19, 25-21, and 25-20. Kaz Brown, 13 kills at 444. Natalie Foster, 12 kills at 600, and they both had multiple blocks as well. Adora, a down day, hit under 100, but still had 10 kills, and they won, so you'll take it. Indy, in the meanwhile, yeah, it's been a little rough for them the last couple weeks, and this week it was a real shame, at least for Azani Taylor, because she had another insane game, 20 kills, hitting 429 with multiple blocks, but they couldn't get it done, and that was the week.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
The thing that stuck out to me the
Totes.
most was the score of 25-10.
Yeah, that was a big one.
What is the lowest scoring set
That might be it this year.
in the
I know we had like
PVA?
a 25-12 last week, I think.
Mm.
But like I said,
And to
it's
come
still
from Atlanta, it's
yeah,
like,
yeah. And they lost on the day, but then they came out and they won the set after that. So
yeah,
obviously they're like, yeah, what the hell?
yeah,
That can't happen again. So that at least was impressive, and they're still in the mix, but they seem definitely more kind of part of the pack this year.
yeah. I mean, they're in the bottom half of the standings right now.
Mhm.
I would say
Kind of
that they're
crazy.
average at best.
Yeah.
It is crazy.
I don't know what their deal is. What do we feel like is going on?
They were so successful last year because they had a bomb outside and a bomb right side.
Yeah, for sure. And a really, really good consistent libero.
Yeah. Which, like, of course, Morgan's doing her thing, you know,
Hmm
but they're not.
I mean, two bomb
This-
outsides last year with Flecator.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, their pins were great, and I think that now they really have consistency from one.
yeah. I mean, obviously, like Leah is putting up good numbers, so it's like it can't be completely. It can't be a setting issue.
I don't feel like Leah's passing as well as she did last year. I think
That could be it.
it's like if you look at her stats on in this Omaha game, it was like really slow to get up there. So her percent
Oh,
positive was 38, then 40, then 56, then 67 across those
oh,
four sets.
okay.
So I feel like she's starting kind of slow and takes a while to get in a groove on passing,
Yeah,
which doesn't help, but certainly isn't the only problem.
yeah,
I feel like last year Leah was extremely reliable on passing.
yes, yeah,
And
absolutely.
now teams are going after her, serving
Yeah,
at her, which is kind of wild.
yeah. I mean, then we look at Vibe against Orlando,
Hmm
and it was even more stark to see that, like, basically Leah was the only one getting set. Well, actually, yeah, I don't know. Like, it's only a 3 set match, so,
hmm
but
Atlanta couldn't string anything together against
no.
Orlando, though. Like they
I mean, Corey
hardly
Lewis had a
had,
good game,
Yeah.
yeah,
but I feel like middles can only make so much of a difference, especially if they're not blocking. Like, she didn't have any blocks.
yeah. Well, in that game, Pia Timmer came back in as the second outside because she was on the short-term IR for a little while.
Oh, okay. So I wonder if she went, I don't know, like why she didn't play again in the game against Omaha.
Maybe she backslid a little on the injury, but she also hit zero.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's like frustrating.
It is.
Oh, I just saw that Marley actually went in
I think she just served.
against Orlando.
Did
She
she?
started
Oh, she assisted a little bit.
in the third set.
Yeah, you're right.
Huh.
That was like a we're getting swept. Let's see if there's any big changes we can make.
And she actually started against Omaha.
It's confusing. I don't think it's injury though.
Yeah. I think maybe they're just trying different things.
Hmm
Interesting.
Any thoughts about Omaha or Orlando to shift over?
Was this Omaha's only game of the week? No, they
No.
swept Indy too.
They
Swept
swept Indy. Yeah. I was hoping for Indy actually in that match. It
Me
was
too.
like pretty sad to see that it was only a 3 set match. I thought it was going to be a better
But it also
competition at
It was a
least.
good game.
it
Like
was
they
Yeah.
really good volleyball.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
it
like the
was
first they were all 25-23s, 25-22s, so
Yeah.
the
but
That's
sad
true.
thing. The sad thing about this was that I think in pretty much every set, what I remember is that Indy had a lead, and then
Mhm.
Omaha went ahead at like point 20.
Oh,
They did so well throughout, and then fumbled it at the
yeah.
very, very end.
Yeah,
But
and
I thought
Omaha
Indy
just did
played
so well.
great. Yes.
I mean, Omaha, they were gelling this week. Like
hmm
Reagan and Brooke were just crushing it.
Yeah, for real. This was Reagan's first weekend that I thought she really popped off.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't know, like, is the lineup? I don't know. Maybe they just got the reps in and they are finally connecting. Who knows?
Emily Londot now is their go-to right side.
Yeah.
So at first in the season, they were starting with Kelsey Payne. Emily Londot is playing all the way around
She hit 194 against Indy, and then she hit
105.
105 against Vibe. I don't know, but she's getting a lot of sets.
hmm Yeah,
Um,
from the
And the
back row
whole
too.
team is hitting well. So like you would
hmm
think it's like you would say, Kelly, like
yeah,
it's helping other places if she's
yeah,
not hitting,
yeah,
extremely well. Everybody else
hmm
is because of it.
yeah. But she's also getting blocks, which is great. Yeah, I think they Omaha in general like dipped after the
Announcement.
MLB announcement, and I think that maybe it's kind of settled a little bit.
Okay. Did Indy only play that one?
Yeah.
No, they lost twice. They lost to
Oh.
Oh
Orlando and
yeah,
they
nope, you're
lost
right.
to Omaha.
Tell me
Yeah.
about the Orlando game, because that was one that I missed.
Orlando, that was another close one at the beginning. Indy won the first set in extras, 28 to 26, and then Orlando won the next three.
Love that. Love when that happens. You lose a close one and then you go, all right, that's enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean they were like on different trajectories right now. Orlando's looking really, really good
Mm.
this week.
Yeah.
Their
Their
last three
middles,
games, they've lost one set. So
Kaz Brown and Natalie Foster,
yeah,
put the
Yep.
team on their back.
Yeah.
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 Both of them multiple blocks, both of them hitting over 400. Seems good.
And
Azana
Yeah,
like,
that was the one where
Taylor
I said like
hit
that
over
was
400 both
yeah.
matches and still
Yeah.
lost.
And
yeah.
they had an off game from Adore that last game and they still won in four.
Was Orlando still doing the two libero thing in this game?
Yes.
Georgia Murphy back
Yep.
and
Yes.
Nalani
Yeah.
Iosia. I have to tell you, people are like contacting us, being like,
Yeah. You're
both of the
idiots.
liberos are good. They're not bad at anything. Like, yeah, we know.
Yeah.
We're not saying anyone's bad at anything. We're saying that the vibe, for the sake of the vibes, it's kind of weird. That's
Not the
all.
team.
Kelly, talk about how much of this was a big deal in your it was and is a big deal in your head when you're playing sixes or fours for that matter. But like I'm always thinking about who's next to me on defense
Yeah.
and what they're capable of getting and what their strengths are.
Yeah.
And there are moments where I was like, "Oh, I was wrong. That I thought that was
Yeah.
Jenny and it was
Yeah.
Jill." Like I'm
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
forget who it
Yeah.
is. And I that happens the most in defense and it's natural for all of your teammates to have different strengths and be able to get different balls, but that's I think what feels the most chaotic about it and of course they can do whatever they need to do, but
And I'm
the
sure,
fact that different people are playing defense every other point.
That's my question is like how before the game, how set is that when people are coming in? Because, if before the game they have that plan, then they can practice it in terms of this is how we're
right.
rotating, I
That's what I was
guess.
gonna say. I think if you're practicing it and you're like expecting, you get into the groove of these people being next to you, a different person in serve receive versus defense. I could see that it's fine, you know. They don't have that much practice time.
Yeah.
Like,
But the only part of it though is that serve receive, that's one thing. The same person's next to you on serve receive in that
yeah,
rotation,
yeah,
no matter what.
yeah,
Defense is the time where half the time it's one person and half the time it's the other.
yeah,
And that's for me where I get most confused in the brain
yeah.
Yeah.
because it's fast.
I don't know. I think as a libero, I'd be pissed,
Yeah, that too,
right?
for
I'd be like,
sure.
just let me play. I don't know.
But like
Especially,
I could also see that, if you make it an identity thing
mm,
and you have two liberos that are like willing to embrace it and
Yeah,
pump each other up and be like,
yeah,
you do this and I do this and together we're,
yeah,
we could do these things that other teams can't do. Like you could
yeah,
You could swing it, but yeah, it's just, I mean, obviously this week it was working really well for them. They're 9-1 in their last 10 sets.
I do think Nalani is like a pop of energy. George is very consistent. So maybe Nalani is like chirping enough that you know exactly where she is when she's playing. I mean, I don't know.
Well, and I wonder how much in practice, the little that they have, like how much is Amy Polly drilling into them? This is what I need you both to do at all time to make
Mhm.
it as easy on the rest of the people on the floor to know that like they don't need to be concerned with which one of you is out there when and which one of you is going to be doing what, that I just need, you guys to be in the same places.
I think that's easier said than done. But
Sure,
like
yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, but like I kind of feel like I haven't seen enough yet to know on defense who is stronger in which direction. Like I would like to come back to this because I have a feeling that what they can get, how much ground they can cover is different. Because
Oh,
every libero I've ever played with is
Sure.
different. Some
yeah.
are stronger moving forward or covering the ball in the middle. Some get do the crossover play between them and the middle back really well. I would like to pay a little more attention to that because my best guess is that it is like a personnel thing. We've got two good
Mhm.
liberos and we
Yeah.
want everybody to be a big happy family.
But it's working for them.
Right. They're on the
Okay.
up.
They absolutely crushed Atlanta
Hmm.
and Indy. So,
No, it's really fair. Amy
Yeah, and
Polly,
that
I
feels like
respect
when it
you.
is working, that feels like a strength, and they're winning games. I'm sure they all will be a pretty happy family.
mhm.
All right, what other match do you want to talk about?
Let's
Can we
talk
talk?
about the Fury.
They did
Yeah.
They
it.
did it. Did
Yes.
we do this?
This
Last
yet?
week we talked about when they finally win, who are they going to beat? And we kind of wish-washed over the answer.
Oh no, I thought it was going to be Mojo
Yeah,
this
we
Oh,
definitely
upcoming
didn't
week.
think Rise.
I didn't
no.
think
We
Rise.
didn't think Rise.
And
Oh,
I wasn't thinking it was gonna be right. Like when they lost the fourth set, I was like,
yeah.
Hmm.
oh
Man.
God. And
It
then they were
was,
really good in the fifth set.
yeah.
Yeah.
I do think Rise, Naya Shimei, she wasn't playing.
Yeah, I saw her in a boot on the bench, so that
Oh
Yeah.
was
no.
a problem.
So,
The
yeah.
boots are appearing.
Something we could not foresee when
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
were asked that question.
I will say, like, Grand Rapids just like couldn't, especially in that last set, the last two sets,
Mm.
there was no, they weren't really putting balls away. And
Yeah.
that was quite the difference. And then on the Fury side, Isabella Rapach,
Hmm.
Huge game.
huge.
Hmm.
She was playing so great. So,
That made her a player of the week contender for us.
yeah. Also, the middle, Janice Liao,
Yes.
she was a huge game changer. And I would say it was like the first time I've seen Fury's middles do something worthwhile.
Yeah, I know it.
Um, so that
Well,
was
what was it?
really
Her blocking?
yes, her blocking. Yes. It was very
Yeah, that's what I
encouraging
was
to
saying.
see.
I think
She had five
in the
blocks and
yeah,
I mean, I don't know how many touches, but
yeah. And in the run through, like that the Rise only had 5 blocks the whole game over 5 sets. So
Quick question though. Could this be possible that she only got set 6 times in 4 sets?
yeah, it's definitely possible
Yeah. Yeah.
because yeah.
Ain't nobody setting their medals. Well, I'm happy. It was ugly. It was ugly.
it was long, and yeah, it
It
was
was
a
ugly. It
slug,
was
but
not
like that's kind of good. They had to fight for it. It
Hmm.
was
yeah.
a battle.
I'm sure they're just feeling relieved at this point.
Absolutely.
It's like, okay, we got it under our belt.
Can we talk
Yep.
You
about
know?
one burden that both teams carry out of this game, though, is a combined 36 service errors in 5 sets.
Oh, there was one moment where it was like there were four in a row. It was just back and forth.
36.
It was so
The Rise
bad.
had 21.
That is
Oh, I hate it. Abysmal. I don't
Bad.
understand.
that's
It's just
repulsive.
Janice Leao and Wilma had 4 each. Abby Walker had
stuff that.
3. I expect better from the middles, man. They don't do serve receive. So in practice, they should just be serving all the time.
You're right. It's these top spin servers. Like if we look at
Middles
the
on my teams always had the best serves.
yeah, isn't that like the current like serve leader in the PVF is a middle?
Orlando's middle. Yeah.
Yeah. But okay,
Marin Grote missed 5.
We see Carly, like
Yeah.
those
It's
The
just,
top
are
spins.
they so,
those are
like, is
top
it
spins.
so bad to serve someone into like a perfect
Right.
system
At least at
hit,
that point you have a chance,
a
right?
chance to block it.
You miss
Yeah.
your serve,
No,
points
I know
over.
it's game over. For this volleyball
21
level,
is so bad.
this match, I don't think anyone needed to hope that their defense couldn't figure it out.
Mm.
Grand Rapids wasn't finding the floor at all. They hit
Rough.
Columbus hit 230, Grand Rapids hit 184. Like, probably you'll dig it or block it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just give it a try.
Yeah.
Pop it over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the Rise only game for the week, but I think that was just they're at 4-4, same as Indy. So,
Okay. They'll rebuild.
oh yeah, yeah.
Gosh, so much. Sorry to talk about parity already, but
Oh, so much parity in the league.
the 3,
Incredible.
4, 5, 6 spot are 5-4, 4-4, 4-4, 4-5. Anything could happen, you guys. Anything at all.
It's wide open.
Gosh, I love to see Vegas winning
Me too. That's a team we haven't talked about yet.
in their
Indeed.
sweep against the Mojo.
It's so cool to see them
I know it.
like this
They're cooking.
with gas, as they say.
There was pretty much just good games down the line
Yeah.
for Vegas
Yeah.
that day.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Cameron Hanna,
Charity
Yep.
Looper.
Charity Looper, yeah.
Yeah.
Morgan
Obviously,
Stout finally
animatics.
did not have a positive hitting percentage, but
Mm.
that's how math works. It's
Yeah.
got to even itself out in the end.
It does happen sometimes. Mojo didn't have an awful game.
Their first
But-
touch was not there.
Yeah. And if
They,
we've learned anything is that if you can't pass, you can't win.
I felt like I was really impressed by both. Well, I was impressed by their defense at the beginning of the year, and I was not as impressed this time. And those serve receive numbers are terrible. 36% positive, 15% perfect.
Yeah. It's not good.
That's the issue there.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that they hit over 200 means that like they were able to do something with it. Like they weren't, they were able to better the ball, as they say, and just get it over the net. But
Hmm.
I don't,
Not
but
as
you're not gonna-
effectively.
you're not going to get kills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Devin Robinson is off the IR now, but she's not playing yet. Maybe she came in for a quick sec in this match. She got pulled right away. That's the second time I feel like we've seen that this week of like someone coming back from being injured and then being like, "Oh, just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm actually not better."
Yeah.
a
I'm
good
curious
title.
if anyone has a Dear PVF.
I mean, we kind of did it talking about the All-Star game a little bit.
That's
Just as
fair.
like I'm confused by the criteria and why we
Sure.
did it now.
Okay, Ian, I want you to come up with one for next week. We have to
Okay.
share.
All right, I'll be extra upset.
I think it's going to be funny to hear you try to talk fast.
Yeah, I'll get a Red Bull.
Or honestly, do it at your normal speaking volume. You just get like 2 sentences in. And
Yeah,
it's fine.
listen, you know what?
Do you have any other, parting words that you wish to say? Any other things that are important to you?
This episode is a result of me drinking half a bottle of wine.
Whoa.
Just say.
So,
That's
tell
great.
us if it's good. If it's good,
Yeah.
we'll
Then
force Kelly to
I'll
drink
become
for
an
every
alcoholic.
episode.
Thank you for listening to Court Captains, a volleyball podcast. Please give us 5 stars on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and like and subscribe on YouTube if you like what you're hearing. Support small podcasts. And if you don't like what you're hearing, then please just go ahead and mind your business. Follow us on Instagram at Court Captains Pod and email us your questions or comments at courtcaptainspod@gmail.com.
don't forget to be the captain of your own court.
Solid.
That means a lot.
Love it.
From
Bye.
Radical, bro.